Thoughts on Presence of Game, ensue by Charles Lamb. We love to have our friend in the country sitting thus at our table by proxy, to apprehend his presence, though 100 miles may be between us, by a turkey, whose goodly aspect reflects to us his plump corpusculum, to taste him in grouse or woodcock, to feel him gliding down in the toast peculiar to the latter, to incorporate him in a slice of Canterbury brawn. This is indeed to have him within ourselves, to know him intimately. Such participation is methinks unitive, as the old theologians phrase it. Last Essays of Elia. Elia presents his acknowledgments to his correspondent unknown for a basket of prodigiously fine game. He takes for granted that so amiable a character must be a reader of the Athenum, else he had meditated a notice in the Times. Now if this friend had consulted the Delphic oracle for a present suited to the palate of Elia, he could not have hit upon a morsel so acceptable. The birds he is barely thankful for. Pheasants are poor fowls disguised in fine feathers. But a hare roasted hard and brown PG 399, with gravy and melted butter. Old Mr. Chambers, the sensible clergyman in Warwickshire, whose son's acquaintance has made many hours happy in the life of Elia, used to allow a pound of Epping to every hare. Perhaps that was overdoing it. But in spite of the note of Philomel, who, like some fine poets, that think no scorn to adopt plagiarisms from a humble brother, reiterates every spring her cuckoo cry of jug, 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 Elia pronounces that a hare, to be truly palated, must be roasted. Jugging sophisticates her. In our way it eats so crips, as Mrs. Minikin says. Time was, when Elia was not arrived at his taste, that he preferred to all luxuries a roasted pig. But he disclaims all such green-sickness appetites in future, though he hath to acknowledge the receipt of many a delicacy in that kind from correspondents, good but mistaken men, in consequence of their erroneous supposition that he had carried up into mature life the prepossessions of childhood. From the worthy vicar of Enfield he acknowledges a tithe contribution of extraordinary sapor. The ancients must have loved hares, else why adopt the word lepores, obviously from lepus, but for some subtle analogy between the delicate flavor of the latter and the finer relishes of wit, in what we most poorly translate pleasantries. The fine madnesses of the poet are the very decoction of his diet. Thence is he hare-brained. Harum-scarum is a libellous unfounded phrase of modern usage. 'Tis true the hare is the most circumspect of animals, sleeping with her eye open. Her ears, ever erect, keep them in that wholesome exercise which conduces them to form the very titbit of the admirers of this noble animal. Noble will I call her, in spite of her detractors, who from occasional demonstrations of the principle of self-preservation, common to all animals, infer in her a defect of heroism. 100 horsemen with thrice the number of dogs scour the country in pursuit of puss across 3 countries, and because the well-flavored beast, weighing the odds, is willing to evade the hue and cry, with her delicate ears shrinking perchance from discord, comes the grave naturalist, Linus perchance or Buffon, and gravely sets down the hare as a timid animal. Why, Achilles or Bully Dawson would have declined the preposterous combat. In fact, how light of digestion we feel after a hare, how tender its processes after swallowing, what Calit Pro PG 400 motes, how ethereal, as if its living celerity were a type of its nimble coursing through the animal juices. The notice might be longer. It is intended less as a natural history of the hare than a cursory thanks to the country, good unknown. The hare has many friends, but none sincerer than Elia.